Okay, what exactly we do is we first take ASCII value of it and then we convert if it is a character. And if it is a number, then we try to convert it into number of bits depending upon what is the declarative parameter used, whether it is define byte or reserve byte, define double or reserve double, and so on. Correct. So accordingly, the care needs to be taken. And I hope most of you must have carried out that part, hopefully. Uh, Rather, like if I see the submissions made by you, okay, let me share with you. I could see that only 42 students submitted among 62. So like when we do deal with this translation or this particular course rather, your programming would be much more important. Programming would be playing much more important role in the whole implementation or execution of this course, because only communicating you the method doesn't resolve the issues, because at some point of time you definitely need to think about improving your programming skills to achieve what was supposed to be done. So let us say like if I have a code. Let me take this code. Yeah. Now if I see this code, brother, okay. Now what exactly I'm supposed to do here? If at all it is to be translated, then my data should start from here. Say for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct. Now it will start. It will have this translation. Like if I open say nasm-a pylab 32 factorial.lst. If you see this translation occurs there. Correct. So as per the method of translation, what we did was first read the character, get its ASCII value and convert it to hex. Correct. And then you write it. So for E it is 45. For N it is 6E. T it is 74. E is 65. R is 72. Space is 20. A is 61. Space 20. Again 6E. We already got that 6E for N. Then 75. U. M. B. E. R. And then you have 10 and 0. And that's how you exactly would be translating. Secondly, with respect to this FMT, so percent %D and 0 are the three symbols given treatment here. So percent %D we got ASCII percent, we got ASCII value, we converted to hex, we got 25. Then D 64 and 0. So this is how you exactly implement. So if you count this, so 0, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, though on the because it has to manage line number, the like a tentative location counter, okay, or you can say address, which is at the time of assembly. Okay, then exact conversion and your original code. So to fit into this particular 4-column form, it is stopping somewhere here, like number of symbols it is taking here. So dash in continuation it adds. So now when it goes to next line, it adds 9 there. If I say 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. Now F after F it would be 10. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, then 1A, 1B, and now 1C, and so on. So this is how exactly this computation would be done. Same case would be true for the variables that you declared here. So again, it will be starting from here, and depending upon what is the declarative uh, what are the declarative factor used, whether it is db, dd, or sorry, SD, resd or resw or resb. Depending upon it, whatever the count is, that count would be added here to communicate how many locations to be reserved. So like if I declare next one, so address would be 4 with assumption that 0, 1, 2, 3 would be the 4 locations to be used for storing value for num. Now if I declare one more variable, then next address would be starting at 4. And that's how translation for BSS and RO data as well as data is to be done. Now data and RO data would be somewhat similar. Some change would be there with respect to this BSS section. Now later, like let us think of, so if at all I have to start implementing this, so without worrying about how my symbol table should be. So if I am reading this code, say for example, if I have been given this code, what should I do now? So I will start reading this code. Correct. Now let us assume that I'm building a symbol table. So I got this section dot data. So I identified that now I am going to see data. So I got first variable as MSG. So I will add that entry here. So entry number 1, MSG. Its address would be, so I'm writing say 8 zeros. So this way. OK, then I'm going to put value of it. So that value would be translated here. Correct. Let us say this is the value which was translated for this enter number 10 0. Let us assume this whole is translation. Correct. And then it has D. So D means defined. Correct. Then comes next thing. So it sees FMT. So now address. So you have to compute how many bytes would be required here. So if I consider one character, 1 byte, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, then 10, and then FMT will occur at 11. Correct. So if I really see this code, okay, so it started with this. So 1, 2, 3. So actually it should start with 0, though I started with the 1. So that's why it was 11. So now next thing would be starting at 10. Correct. So now my address would be what? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 10. Now I'm going to put value of it. Suppose again, this is the value. Then I'm going to get third variable, MSG1. I'm going to see its value. Like earlier, how many bytes are taken? Say 3. So then I'm going to add here 3 into that. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then I'm going to write 1, 3. Now I would be getting my next variable, okay, whose value would be added again here. This is the value. Correct. Now I move further. So I saw, say, BSS. So I see num. So I'm adding num. Now you might identify that like while I'm adding this, nowhere I'm storing information about them. Now these all are defined. So let me add here defined. Let me add here, which I forgot to add, define. Again, now this is defined, but initial value is not initialized. So its address would be 0, 0, 0, 0. Now how do I differentiate this one and this one? So for that purpose, I will require in which section it belongs to. Right? In which section it belongs to. So I may say that the value, it belongs to data section. It belongs to data section. It belongs to, say, data section. Now when it comes here, now value is not defined. So I will put some, say, dot probably, and then I will write here section is BSS. Because I don't have any value here. So whenever I identify value, that value would be written here. and definitely it would be a converted value. Now I move further. I read section.text global main. So I got main. So I will add main. Now its address would be again 0000000. Value is not known. Okay, because there is nothing called value for the variables which are declared, or variables or labels which are declared in text. Correct. Now this would be from text section. I move further. I got push MSG. Now I do see where is push. So I have to check into my opcode table. So suppose like in previous session we were talking about conversion. Now how that intermediate code would be? Say for example, its instruction number, say 23. It is referring MSG. So MSG, I do search into symbol table, which is the entry. So I say same hash one. Correct. I move next. I do see call. Say suppose it is opcode number 89. Now printf, I have to add it here. So I got entry printf. Nothing is known. Address is not defined. But here, like when we are talking about this is also defined. This is defined. Now this have address. Suppose address is we don't know. Value is not known. It is undefined and declared in data text section. I move further of code 89. So I got this. So I will write only 6 here. Sim number 6. I got next instruction. So I got add ESP comma 4. So I write OP hash. I search into my opcode table where is add register comma immediate. So suppose I got 189. Sorry, 289. I do see register number ESP. So as per my register numbers, this is EAX, ECX, EDX, EBX, ESP. So it is register number 4 starting with 0. That's why register number 4. And this 4 is to be now converted. So that conversion would be searched from literal number entry, literal table. Correct, because this 4 would be used anywhere else as well. So that's why I would, because this 4 would be either written as 04, and if it is I'm using that 4 with move, then it would not be only 04, it would be 04000000. Correct, because depending upon what kind of instruction it is. Now, though I haven't stated anything about how my opcode table will look like, because I have to build my uh, data structure that way. Now let us assume that we reach to this test one. Now we haven't seen test one here at all. Correct, till this time. Suppose my code got translated and I'm reaching to test one. So I got now 7th entry. So test one. I don't know address. Okay, rather like this test one is defined here. Correct. So line number 21. So if I start with address 27, 28, 29, 2A, 2B, then test one would be at 2C. Correct. So this would be added. So address would be what? 0000002C. Now value, I don't have anything. It is defined and defined in text section. Correct. Okay, let us go back, go further. So suppose we translated these remaining instructions too. Okay, now here, like when I write JNZ test one, so test one entry would be written like the way that we wrote for printf. Correct. We may write for printf. So in this case, when I said printf, I used symbol 6. So same case, when I use this JNZ test one would be symbol 7. And that's how my intermediate code would be. Now, when I complete, when I reach to last file, last line of this file, I do see, is there any entry which is not defined yet? Because I'm generating object code. And for object code, if it is a symbol from library, if it is written with extern, then I will not search for this U. right now because I have to generate object code. Now suppose there is a symbol somewhere here. Suppose this we are referring to some FMT and our FMT is not declared for a while. Let us say it is FMT1. Now if FMT is not declared, so then when I add that FMT entry here, 8th FMT, so I don't have any value. Address is not known, or address and value is not known. It is you defined in text section. Now when I reach to last line and if I see any entry which is without extern in the source code but having value to be you, that means this symbol is not defined. Let me show you how the error would be. So if I take a code Emacs factorial.asm, suppose if I make this as FMT1 and let me translate this. Now I got an error. Correct? I got an error. So I have even got some error like this. So let me see what was the error. So Emacs factorial. Test one change during code generation. Emacs. Correct. Because we made some change. So if I remove this FMT1 say for a while and let me try translate this. So now there is no change. Now why this error might have been coming up over there? Correct. So it might be talking about redefinition, probably redef, late, something is added there. Correct. So like if what now that error is not shown. If I try to say that W. So that error is not shown to me. But when I made a change in my code with respect to FMT1, like instead of FMT, I took it as FMT1. So instead, like even if I make change here, say for example, num1, let us see what error it shows. Correct. So it is trying to show you something. Another error is generated, which would be very difficult for an individual rather to understand why this error is shown when I know that only num1 error should be shown there. It must be having some relationship in between while it is trying to translate the code. So this undefined status needs to be checked every time for the symbol table. So somewhere your symbol table will have some form like this. So for example, I will say ID. ID means count, serial number say, then name, then address, then value, then DU, defined or undefined, and then section name. Let us say temporarily I have these columns for my table, symbol table, which will have this kind of structure. Now, how exactly I'm implementing this symbol table would be different issue. But like while I'm searching here, like when I wrote this opcode 23 symbol 1, on what basis I did that? Because my symbol table was there. So I tried searching into this symbol table. So if you recall in the block diagram that I talked about components of an assembler, there was something called as procedures for table search. Because every time you are writing this, simply I wrote here symbol 1, but I have to search here in the symbol table what exactly I have to write. When I wrote symbol 6, I checked actually where is printf. So I checked here MSG no, FMT1 no, MSG1 no, num no, main no, printf yes. So entry number 6. That's how I wrote this. So this searching, how can I make it better? So if I use say while organizing this data structure, Whenever new entry is added, let me sort it and again write it. But then I cannot simply make changes like that randomly. The reason behind, if I do use a simple structure, I cannot sort it every time when variable is added. Because if I start sorting, whatever I wrote as symbol 1, when next occurs, this symbol 1 will vanish, because now if as per the order of alphabet, FMT would be 1 and MSG would be second. So that's why I will prefer not to sort this again. What would be other option for me? Then somebody may say, okay, let me organize it as a bucket. The bucket in the sense, all variables starting with A would be here. All variables starting with B would be found here. All variables starting with C would be here. So whenever you are trying to reach to that bucket, if you see a variable name starting with A, only search with the bucket available here. Correct? When it talks about C, I will be searching only this. So first search would be here. Now again, problem is what if I have to organize this sorting, internal sorting of this, then how do I do that? How can I implement this internal mechanism? Because it would be easy for me to make use of search technique, which will be very efficient in respect of searching a big symbol table. Right now, my symbol table right here is containing only 8 symbols, correct? What if symbols are much more? So you have used global, external, too many things. Now, if main is not there, then ultimately whatever I'm referring with in place of main would be added there as a global element. That would be a procedure. That would be a function. Correct. So my challenges would be very big rather while I am trying to implement such kind of assembler. Because I have not to go with the toy model. Toy model means randomly, like some of you who implemented assembler in their bachelor's probably must have seen that you take toy assembly instructions. I want you to take care of now, say IA32 instruction, because simply when I wrote opcode 23, actually this opcode table is containing information. What should I use? Whether it is /r, /0, /1, /2, what? This would be telling me that mod RM should be included. And that is the reason why I gave you assignment. Can you come up with a mod RM model? Because those simple small routines will be helping you out to build a big program like assembler. Because if you have brief idea about how that mod RM byte is to be computed, you definitely know what is to be done. Only call the function, pass the instruction which is there available with you, get the mod RM byte for it. Okay, so now when I do talk about this kind of structure, like here in this case, I talked about symbol table. I haven't said anything about literal. So what exactly I'm supposed to do with literal? One more thing, while I wrote this AASDF value here, for example, actually have I applied the same method which was asked to you by in the previous assignment number 3? Right, so this would be really important for me rather to find out what is the kind of tactics that I'm applying. So it is not the way value is stored. First of all, value was converted to ASCII if it is a text value. Then it was converted to hex and then it was written. And that's how I would be working with the data. Any questions till this time? Yes, Suryanshi, Roshan. Roshan, are you there? Amit, are you with me? Have you understood what I tried telling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what I'm doing is I'm reading the code and I'm going to build the symbol table data structure, the literal table data structure. Though I haven't discussed how my data structure organization would be. We haven't directly addressed it for a while right now. We haven't. Definitely we need to, but right now, what is important for us is how exactly we do get it. How exactly we do get it. Okay, so if at all it is to be done, how that data structure should be. Hmm? What do you think? How will you organize this symbol table? So I want you to build probably by say tomorrow morning 7. I want you to build this symbol table. Now you pick any kind of data structure. Let us not talk about whether it is efficient or not. Let us not talk about efficiency in terms of space or in terms of uh, time. I want you to build this kind of symbol table the way I have shown you here. Okay, in the code. Correct? Can you come up with this kind of structure? You can add your own columns too, though I have specifically added few columns only. I want you to think of and get through more things. Hmm? You have to do this. Okay. And those who are in Pune can come in the afternoon slot to ask if there are any queries so that we can work together to get through the symbol table, because it would be important. You cannot delay. I mean to say you cannot deny say working on such kind of assignments. It would be really important for you. Fine. So I'm adding that assignment there rather on Moodle. Okay, where I want you to build the symbol table. Fine, and you have freedom of choosing the programming language. Fine, but I want that to be used. Make sure that the instruction set is I32. So when I said instruction set is IR32, I mean form of the code assembly program that you are going to take as input should be the way that I showed you today. Okay. So try to finish it by tomorrow 7. Then okay, and I want you to come up with problem statements like a problem state. I mean to say if you face some issue by today evening. Okay, come up with the problems that you are facing in respect of implementation. I want you to add a README file, and for README file, how to write that README file. So maybe if you search. Do this course. I'm adding this link in chat window. So you have to do this. You can think of this code, or you can see. Sorry, you can think of this course. See it like a very few small. Like it will require hardly 1 or 2 hours for you to complete this course. Okay, you can register yourself and work with this. So right now I'm not able to, but because I already completed it, so you can work out this code. It is a free course. Do this. Okay, see how exactly the files are, the README is written. Fine. So work with this. I want you to write every time now. What are the code that you submit? Along with that code, you should add a README. How? What are the constraints of the code? What are the possible inputs for the code? What is the expected output for the code? Okay, I want this to be written into your README file. So your submission should contain source file. Okay, now source file would be accompanied by if program is executable. I mean to say if it can execute successfully as per the desired goal, then you should add one screenshot where code is showing you the proper output. Another thing is like if code is giving you something like which was expected to be a runtime error, try to add that kind of stuff as well. So which is not expected, say for that kind of label is not expected. If you are generating some errors, show those errors too, if at all they are there. But right now I'm interested in source code, the screenshot of working your symbol table. Okay, right now or every assignment, what is the whatever the output is, and then I want you to add a README file. Okay, which would be a plain text file. See any source code, download any source code of open source through open source software available on GitHub. So you would be knowing how exactly it is to be written. Even while you write source code. Okay. Let me show you only one thing rather. I'm not sure what the problem is. But yes, you can search it. Let me see if I have source code available on my Linux machine so that I can share with you how the file should be. Okay, so I have source code available here. Yeah. So suppose if I open a file, say there is a README. So this README is telling you what exactly it is, what is the software is about. Correct? Because this is a complete README for that process, that for that software. Okay. Then how to install? If I see this, it will be letting you know how to install the software. Okay, installation from source code. Nextly, if I go to source code, source line, say let us pick something as .c. So let me pick, say for example, backend commands. Okay, let us take command. So if I take this, so it should be like this. What that file contains, so you write it here. So you can add what is the path, where exactly you can find it in a zipped file if you are submitting zip file. If not at all, you can tell me what is the identification criteria. I want you to write description about the file in comment. You can also add who wrote that code. Okay, this would be kind of documented. So if you pick any of the source code, correct. Let me share a screen with you. Okay, so it should be like this. Suppose this is my file name, correct? Then what exactly the file contains? Then if you want to add something, who wrote that code and so on, you can write it. And file name is to be mentioned, like how exactly it is organized. So I want you to write this way, right? Similarly, like if I open README file for a while, if I open another source code, say from parser, so it has the similar pattern. You might have identified now. I showed you two files, they are having same patterns. If I open another file, even it would be having same thing. Like it may tell you what exactly the code is doing and so on. So you can add that information. Even you can add who wrote that program as an information perspective. So if I see there is a README file available, this README file will tell you information about that directory if at all there is any. Because right now your only one file would be there. So if you are making use of libraries, your own created libraries, then you can mention them. So right now we are not using any library, so it would be only single file or maybe collection of file. So another thing, like you can tell me how exactly to run the code. So you can write that information in the installation. Correct. So try to build some similar kind of structure rather for your source code, so that if anybody wants to make use of your source code, then it should be very easy for him or her rather to use your code. How the input should be, how the output should be, or how the output will be. Okay, that information can be added into README if at all you want. Fine. Try to work with it. And I want you to submit that symbol table. Now I want you to ask questions if you have any right now. Otherwise, I'm there. You let me know. Like if you are coming in the department, come after 3 o'clock. We can discuss together if you have any queries about that implementation. Okay, it would be important. Those who can successfully write the code can only join my next session. It would be better for them if they work with, because that only then only you would be knowing importance of data structures and algorithms course while you implement this symbol table. Right now, take plain data structure, probably the kind of data structure that I suggested. You can take a structure, can store the values. It can be array of structure and so on, depending upon your own choice at the primary level, without worrying about complexity in terms of time and space. Then we'll try to implement same code, same kind of data structure with different structure. Likewise, say for example, I should talked about bucket. So we'll be talking about different design techniques for that data structure, like symbol table, or every other data structure, which would be a dynamic data structure. Dynamic, I mean to say, populated at runtime of the translation. We'll be talking about how to design them. Other aspect is if you want to take your opcode table, opcode table can be in the form of a file where you are going to read in the file. So you can have it as a sorted order because it is a static data structure that you would be using, so that it would be very easy for you to search. So you can apply binary search over there instead of going with linear search. Fine. For the static structures like opcode table, register table, directive or declarative information, and so on. Fine. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me so that we can move further. If no questions, start implementing that assembler. Okay. At least for symbol table for a while. Yeah, somebody unmuted.
तर डेडलाईन थोडी एक्सटेंड करता का? कारण ते Moodle 7 वाजता ओपन होतं.
काय? Moodle? काय आणलास?
7 चालू होतं, तर मग
6ला
डेडलाईन
चालू
थोडी
होतं. 5लाच चालू होऊन जातं Moodle. 8 वाजेपर्यंत करा, काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही. 1 तास अजून घ्या. लेक्चर सुरू व्हायच्या आत करा. So until like I assume your lecture starts at 9 probably. So before 9, try to submit the task. Try to work with the task. Okay. So I will accept all submissions by 9. Okay, those who are submitting in time would be given definitely good credits. Late submissions would be getting negative reward. So I extended that deadline to 9. Okay, morning. Okay. Any questions other than the deadline or anything? I will share with you. Okay, so I think I deleted that file. So you can take help of this video again to get structure of it. Okay. See you then tomorrow. If there are no questions, I will stop here. If you have questions, you can ask me. You can let me know.